Welcome to the Undisputed Podcast. I'm your host, Joy Taylor. On today's show, what does LeBron James' latest cryptic post on social media mean? Plus, what to make of LeVar Ball saying Lonzo needs more playing time? And should the Eagles be the favorite to make the Super Bowl out of the NFC? Skip, Shannon, let's get to it. Let's start with LeBron and Kyrie. Kyrie scored a season-high 35 points and put on a dribbling display in last night's win against the Hawks. The Celtics have won 9 straight and now have the best record in the NBA. LeBron's Cavs, on the other hand, are just 4-6 this season. After the Celtics win, LeBron posted on Instagram an image of cartoon character Arthur's clenched fist with the caption, "Mood." Shannon, this is your guy. What's LeBron saying here?
Skip what's he saying, because you leave here every day and post that very meme. What's your mood, Skip? He's frustrated, Joy. He's watching his number one, the team that probably has the best chance of dethroning them. He's watching, and one of his former teammates is leading this band. They're playing extremely well. Nothing Kyrie does offensively surprised LeBron James. He made that very clear. That's one of the reasons that he went back, because he saw Kyrie at the All-Star game, having played against him when he was in Miami. Kyrie was in Cleveland. That was one of the reasons he went back, Skip. Offensively, Kyrie Irving has no deficiency. He can finish at the rim with either hand as well as anybody his size, maybe in the NBA.
True.
His handles, second to none.
True.
In the NBA, he can shoot the three. He got a mid-range game. So offensively, he has no weakness. But what LeBron is seeing is that he's seeing the extra effort that those guys are giving. But what LeBron needs to take into account, Jason Tatum is 19 years of age. Jaylen Brown is like 21. Marcus
Just turned 21.
Yeah, Marcus Smart is 23. Rozier is 21. So all these guys are young.
Oh, young legs versus old legs.
And they can sustain the effort that the Cavs want to sustain.
Correct.
They can literally sustain that for 48 minutes, as opposed to the Cavs trying to sustain it for 6 minutes. But the thing, and he's watching, he's like, hold on, we just played this team that was undermanned. They played 9 guys. 7 of those guys scored double figures. That's unacceptable. They shot last night in the first quarter, the Hawks had 25 points. On the road, they had 38 in our building.
37, yeah.
And LeBron is like, this is unacceptable. My play, I'm going to have to play better. I'm going to have to do a better job of taking care of turning the ball over. But I need guys to play to the level at which I know they can play. A la Kevin Love, a la J.R. Smith, Jay Crowder. I need you to earn those big old paychecks. Now, I don't like to have to post this kind of stuff, Joy. You know, I don't really like getting on social media. Me and LeBron, we're not really social media. We don't like pimp ourselves out like that on social media.
Really?
Okay, we do sometimes. But Skip, you and I both know LeBron is frustrated. Their record. Nobody thought at this point, because you even made the point, because you listed up their the opponents. Oh, they'll be 7-1, 8-1 at the worst. And lo and behold, look at they won 3-4 little measly games. So he should be just like that meme said. He should be upset. He should have his fist clenched and his tooth clenched also. And when he go in to shoot around this morning, you know, look here, y'all better give me a effort tonight or else.
Now you realize that the show Arthur is a children's show. It's aimed at kids like 4 to 8 years of age. And you realize Arthur's an aardvark. You know, he's not like he's a humanized aardvark. You get that?
But you get the idea when his fist is clenched.
So it's a cartoonish clenched fist, because a lot of things LeBron does are cartoonish.
Stop! See,
because he's got a lot of kid in him.
Why you got to be so demeaning?
He's just an overgrown child. He can be. And it's here we go again, night after night, day after day. LeBron is going to say something or post something that makes all of us say, God, what does he mean by that?
You know what he meant.
It's more diva drama. It's more drama queen. I'm sorry. It's just completely, this is exactly point. This is why Kyrie said, I can't take this anymore. This is the perfect example of that. Because he's going to say or do something, and I think LeBron at home just sits back and thinks, wonder what they're going to all say about this. You know, he's constantly saying, look at me, causing drama, causing internal turmoil that he actually thrives on. I'm not sure his team always thrives on it, because Kyrie did not thrive on this kind of thing, because it leaves everybody scratching their head, even in the locker room, like, what's he
Before
saying?
LeBron got back, Kyrie didn't thrive on anything except losing.
He was a baby. He was Jason Tatum. He was that age. And you can't win. It's what we see Lonzo Ball going through right now. They're babies trying to grow up fast in a grown man's league, and it's hard. But Kyrie, I think he grew up, and he learned a whole lot from the king. He did.
Say it loud. Say it loud, then. Give his props.
But Kyrie wanted to leave the nest. And did he ever leave it now? And so last night, I'm pretty sure that LeBron James watched every dribble of Kyrie's game, because that's how it came across with that post. But I'm having to read in, because LeBron didn't lay it right out on the table for all of us to dissect. It's always hazy. It's always passive-aggressive. It's always, did he mean that or did he mean that? Was he talking about this or was he talking about that? He was talking about Kyrie Irving, who obviously did to the Hawks what LeBron couldn't do to the same Hawks the day before in Cleveland. This one was obviously in Atlanta. Kyrie closed the deal last night, and I watched the whole game because Kyrie was mesmerizing in the fourth quarter, in which he had 12 points and 0 assists. And I said I thought he could average 8 assists, leaving the nest, taking over his own show. He's averaging 6 assists, and I think by the end of the year it will be 8. But when it's time to close, he was LeBron's closer, and he has become the Celtics' closer. And they just like, you do it. We'll just watch.
Right.
And Kyrie just keeps bringing it up, saying, okay, I'll go here, I'll pull this globetrotter move on this guy, and I'll go up and under and off the glass with this trick shot. And I just sit back in awe of it, because you detailed it early. There's nothing like this kid.
No.
And LeBron does call him this kid, right?
Yeah.
So he's got young legs too.
Yeah.
This is all new. He needed a challenge at this point in his life. He was ready to take over his own show. And so far, so great, because obviously in the opener at Cleveland, God bless Gordon Hayward. They lost him. Hope he hurries back soon. Maybe he'll be back by the end of the year. I don't know. But they lost him. Then they had a hangover game, lost the next night. And then what's happened? They've won 9 straight games. That's pretty great. And last night, Kyrie has 35, but to your point, Jaylen Brown didn't have a big night, but he's averaging 15 and 6. And Jason Tatum did have a big night last night with 21, but that's the 3rd time already that he's gone over 20 points.
But can I ask you a question?
Woo.
Who made the dagger 3 that basically ended the game last night?
Kyrie.
No, it was not. It was Jason Tatum in the corner from a pass from
Big
Marcus
shot.
Smart.
I thought
So why didn't
Kyrie's
Kyrie?
I thought Kyrie's was bigger, because he made a late 3 that was just huge.
But it was a 1-point game when Jason Tatum took that corner 3.
It was big.
Yeah.
No, it was big.
Yeah.
He made a big shot.
Yeah, okay.
He did. All the kids are contributing.
Yeah.
There are kids coming off the bench I've never even heard of who are contributing. That kid from SMU and the kid from Germany, they all come in and do good things, because that team's got young leg momentum. And that team, by the way, having lost Avery Bradley, you could argue their best perimeter defender.
No, it wasn't no arguing. He was.
Replaced him with Kyrie Irving, that everybody said can't defend you. And all of a sudden, whoosh, there went, wait a minute, the Celtics are number 1 in defensive efficiency in the whole NBA.
They are, Skip. But,
how is that possible?
But stop, Skip. You know good and well, Kyrie Irving is not stopping a parked car.
I disagree with
They
that.
have young athletic wing players that can rotate on multiple occasions to get stops. So stop with the Kyrie Irving is a defensive stopper, because he's not.
He's not a stopper, but he's better than that.
No.
You know what? I'm going to take a quick aside. It reminded me of the little controversy that boiled over between Deion Sanders yesterday and Tony Romo, because Romo had used sort of the cliche, he's like Deion Sanders, talking about Marcus Peters, who doesn't tackle. I was surprised Tony went after Marcus Peters, not after Deion.
Right.
But it became a cliche that Deion won't tackle, because Deion was the one who said, once upon a time, it's a business decision that I don't tackle everybody, because I pick and choose when I tackle. But I used to defend Deion Sanders, because when it's time to tackle, He will I've watched his whole career. He will get you on the ground if he needs to get you on the ground.
Plus the fact that time guy very rarely caught the ball, so he didn't need to tackle it.
But he's not going to go tackle Brandon Jacobs, right?
Yeah, right.
Okay.
Yeah, no,
Right.
I don't blame.
And I don't blame him for that. But it's the same with Kyrie. He has a reputation. It's almost like a cliche reputation. He doesn't play any defense. Well, trust me. In the finals against Steph Curry, when they came back and won from 3-1 down, I thought he did a terrific job on Steph Curry.
Oh, yeah. So did Kevin Love.
Yeah.
I mean, have you ever seen Kevin Love play defense like that when Steph was trying to get that three off? He was trying to drive to the basket, and Kevin Love was moving his feet. But what these young guys, the Jaylen Browns, the Roziers, the Tatums, they can do that on multiple possessions. They can do that on multiple occasions. I'm not saying Kyrie is not Isaiah Thomas. He's not that bad defensively. But his offense is so great that you forget, like, okay, he's going to go at you. He's going to make you forget his defense with all the showmanship because he is a Harlem Globetrotter with the basketball. He has the basketball on the string. He can yo-yo it like nobody can in the NBA currently, and it's hard for me to believe that someone ever could dribble the basketball. Maybe Pete Maravich, maybe Isaiah Thomas, the big Isaiah Thomas with the Pistons, handled.
I appreciate you bringing up Pete Maravich because most people don't, but he was.
He had handles.
He was rare.
But Skip, the thing is, what's most impressive, and LeBron is looking at like they're number one in defensive efficiency. We're averaging giving up 13 threes a game. At this current pace, that would be an NBA record.
Who's we?
The Cavs.
Oh, the Cavs.
Cavs are giving up 13 threes a game.
Okay. Yeah.
Also, they're shooting about 42%, which would be another NBA record. And he knows in order for them to get to where they want to be and to be the team that they want and need to be, this cannot continue.
Yep.
And he's looking at it and he's seeing how they're playing. And he's like, man, ooh, Skip, Skip, you've been there. I mean, I'm watching him like, we need to play like this.
So I know it's a fairly small sample size, just, what are we, 11 games in?
11.
But Cavs are dead last, 30th and last in defensive efficiency, while Kyrie's new team is number one in defense. Right. I think that's pretty early on significant.
Yeah.
I think that's a sign of things to come.
The Cavs finished 22nd last year out of 30 teams. They're dead last now. The Celtics were 12th in defensive efficiency last year. They're number one now. And they lose one of the best perimeter defenders in Avery Bradley in the NBA. So that just goes to show you they're making a concerted effort. But Kyrie can close a ball game like very few guys in the NBA can because he can do so many things. He can get to the basket. You foul him, he go into the free throw line, he's going to make probably both of them. He's an 88 to 90% free throw shooter. Yep. He can shoot the three. So Skip,
he's almost 90 now.
Yeah, so offensively, and LeBron's 84. But we ain't talking about LeBron and free throws right now. We're talking about what he meant by that. And see, I need you to do me a favor. You need to stop trying to come at LeBron. He understood. He knew what Arthur was. He knew what Arthur is.
You think he watched Arthur when he was a kid on PBS? I don't know. Maybe. I bet he watched Arthur with his kids.
Yeah.
Is that possible?
Skip, a lot of times when we post these GIFs, these GIFs or whatever they want to call them.
Well, this is a meme.
No, I'm just saying. But when we post them, we don't watch every little detail of where this came from. It just looks good, and we tweet it out. So he was just trying to say the mood that he was in. He probably was gritting his teeth like this here too.
So LeBron's he's a mad aardvark, right? Is that what we're supposed to take away?
No.
I'm just asking.
No.
I just want to know.
He's
a mad aardvark.
Skip, when you get frustrated, what do you do?
You go eat some ants, maybe?
No, stop!
I don't know.
Skip, his mood is he's frustrated. He's upset.
Yeah.
He's disappointed thus far in how the season is playing out.
So why didn't he just tweet, I'm furious with my basketball team? Why not? Just lay it out on the line. Lay it on the line.
That ain't what we do.
Huh?
We talking.
What do we do?
We talking parables.
Yeah.
That's what you do. You read the Bible.
Is this a comparison to Jesus? I don't know. I'm asking.
Does he spell out everything in the Bible? He speak in parables.
It's all parables.
And you read in between. So that's what Bron do. King James.
Okay. Sermon on the Mount, right? Okay.
And you read between the lines, and you get all these phrases. You know exactly what LeBron means. And so does she.
Was he mad at Kyrie or mad at his team, or is he just saying we're going to get tough now, or what is he saying? I don't know.
He's frustrated because he's seeing how they're playing with effort, and with the Celtics are playing with effort. They're playing with energy, and he wants his team to play like that, and he's upset currently because what he's saying and what he's doing does not seem to be resonating with his own team.
Nope.
So he's upset because he knows they can play better, but knowing you can play better and playing better are two separately different, two entirely separate things.
Okay. So, big picture. So many people, I can't remember exactly what your take was on this, blasted Kyrie Irving for having the audacity to leave LeBron James. Like, what are you thinking, kid?
No,
right?
Skip. They was like, if the thing was about winning and competing at the highest level and going to finals, why would you want to leave that when you've gone to 3 straight finals? I have no problem with Kyrie's decision. Kyrie felt that I'm grown. I want to lead my own flock. So be it. That happens in the church a lot of times. You know, the second pastor, he goes out and get his own congregation.
What are all these spiritual
I'm just saying,
Did you go to church Sunday?
No. I can't go some Sunday because, during football season,
It's early here.
Something.
Yep.
Yeah, so I can't, during football season, I don't go. But, I do believe, though, Skip. I pray and I read my Bible on a nightly basis.
That's debatable.
Yeah, I do.
Okay.
You know what, Skip? Why is that debatable?
I don't know. I just have my suspicions. But back to the drawing board.
Okay, LeBron.
So the point is, Kyrie Irving said, I want to get out from under all things LeBron. I want to get out from under all those memes and all those cryptic references.
Yeah.
I just want to run my own show. And he went to a tradition in Boston, and he said, I want to be part of this. I'm going to sign here long term, and I'm going to take this over. And they got an awful break. They lost Gordon Hayward. And then they said, okay, here we go.
Sometimes, Skip, and Kyrie came to the realization, and we talked to Magic, and Magic like, I was winning championships. Why would I be upset? But sometimes guys want to see what they can be. He realized as long as he's playing with LeBron, it's always going to be LeBron. Because Kyrie could get 40, but LeBron's going to have a 27-point triple-double, and people will say that the triple-double was more important than Kyrie scoring 19 in the fourth.
And after the game, LeBron's going to say, we're top-heavy as you know what. He's going to make some comment that's going to take all the focus off Kyrie's 56 points.
No. When they got blown out without Anthony Davis, when he said they're top-heavy.
At New Orleans.
And saying top-heavy, that's a compliment to Kyrie. Because basically, Kyrie, myself, and he threw Kev in there just for good measure, but he didn't really mean it. But basically, we're a two-man show.
And by the way, speaking of Anthony Davis, the other thing LeBron, with his very high IQ, has to understand is that the Celtics still have the stockpiled firepower in extra draft. They got 3 draft picks they could trade that are not theirs, and they could trade one of these kids along with it, and they could acquire one Anthony Davis, maybe even...
Anthony Davis said he don't want to leave.
Well, you never know at the trade deadline. What if they do acquire him?
We got Brooklyn's pick, and we might get old Boogie, called Boogie giving the Tifo. 28, 14, 6, 2 and 2.
Well, that would be interesting if Boogie goes to Cleveland and Anthony goes to that. I don't know where that would leave New Orleans.
Well, they might well get rid of the franchise. Where's the franchise going after that?
I don't know. They have a whole lot of draft choices, I guess, right?
What good is those draft picks?
None. I would agree with you. And then the bottom line to all this is that obviously Kyrie went to a much better coach in Brad Stevens than he had in Cleveland, LeBron James.
Ty Lue.
No, Ty's the assistant. You got to get this through your head.
Why is it necessary for you to try to take shots at Cleveland?
Ty
Lue is the head coach.
Telling you the truth.
He's a championship winning coach.
Really?
Yes. In his first year.
Thanks to LeBron James.
Yeah.
He's gone along. Nice ride that he's had.
You know what, Skip?
Huh? Am I right?
No, you're not right.
You agree with every word that just came out of my mouth.
I agree that LeBron James is a once-in-a-lifetime, a light that we may never, ever see again. But Ty Lue is the head coach, and you need to give him his due.
I give LeBron his due. He's the head aardvark of the Cleveland Cavaliers.
See, there you go, Skip. The man sent out a meme, and I heard all of a sudden.
he compared himself to
No, he didn't.
Arthur the
He was
Aardvark.
saying his mood currently is clenched fist, teeth grinding.
Okay, here we go.
Well, we'll hear from him tonight when they host Milwaukee, and I'm sure he'll say that this had nothing to do with
Nothing to
anything.
do.
No, we're going to hear about it because he's going to drop 30-point triple-double.
Because I burned my toast for the third time. It
Yep,
had nothing
that's
to do
what it
with
was.
any
Watch
defensive
what he does
efficiency
again.
or anything.
No mercy.
This is Shannon Sharpe, and before the show moves along, a quick word about Home Depot and Husky Tools. They say in life there are no guarantees. Well, I'm here to tell you there just might be one exception. In 1924, Husky started making things for people who make things, and they did it with common sense. That meant adding function, never frills, and making tools that stood the test of time. 93 years later, Husky is still making quality-crafted, durable tools, and Husky stands by their hand tools for life, so they gave their hand tools a lifetime warranty. Like the Husky Ratchet, with a 100-position ratcheting design and a 10% longer handle than standard ratchets, or the virtually unbreakable Husky Flashlight with the ability to withstand a 30-foot drop, both guaranteed for a lifetime, built so you won't need it. Now that's a pretty sure thing, and to Husky, that's common sense. Husky, common sense tools since 1924, with hand tools guaranteed for a lifetime, found only at the Home Depot.
No mercy.
Joined now by friend of the show, podcast host.
Here we go.
I am Rapaport Stereo
Here we go.
Podcast, and he has a new book. This book has balls,
Woo.
which I've been reading. It's very good. Michael Rapaport,
Wow.
welcome back.
Thank you
Way to
for
go.
having me. I appreciate it. Glad to be here.
What do you got? What's that?
Oh, no, well, because Shannon, before the thing, he was complaining to me about bets and
Yeah, I know.
Tell him who owe me. Tell him who owe me.
Dana White doesn't pay him, stuff like this. But when I was at the Golden State Warriors, when they dismantled the Cleveland Cavaliers, I took this for you, and I wanted to throw this confetti on you. This is fresh off the floor. I kept it just for you. to
Why were you
remind-
at the game?
I was at the game
Amazing.
watching the dismantling of the king, who should be called the princess, with his memes and all the craziness.
You a
that he said.
hater.
Princess James, she's upset. We go in the corner and calm down, Princess James.
You and Skip first cousins.
Here
Both
we
of y'all
go.
haters.
Here we go.
It's
So,
over.
Mr.
ain't.
Rappaport, I read your book cover to cover, and I liked your book a lot.
Thank you.
Bet you did.
It is funny, which is no surprise, and it gets a little too F-bomby for my taste. It's a little profane. It's out there, but it's so you, because basically, for those who don't know, you started as a stand-up comic,
Yep.
and to me it reads like stand-up rants on your favorite heroes and villains in
Yeah.
the world of sports, and you got Larry Bird and Bill Belichick and Muhammad Ali and LeVar Ball. Of course, he belongs in that sentence,
LeVar
right?
can't
Yeah.
ball. He got his own
He can't
chapter.
ball,
You made
and-
it. You made it into my
and
book.
Mike
LeVar
Tyson,
can't ball.
he did. Mike Tyson, Ronda Rousey, and it just goes on and on and on. But the chapter that shocked me was on one LeBron James,
Yes.
because you do have a personal axe to grind
Yes.
with one LeBron,
Yes.
and your commentary on LeBron in this book is scathing in the chapter on why LeBron, 23 reasons why LeBron will never be like Mike.
That's correct.
So, I'm going to let you tell this story, but basically, you did meet LeBron James, or I should say he introduced himself to you when he was a rookie in the NBA, and you were starting to leave Jay-Z's 40-40 Club
That's
in
correct.
Manhattan, right?
Yes,
And he
yes.
comes up to you and basically says, Mr. Rappaport, sir, I'm a big fan of yours, right?
Absolutely. Nice. You know, like I know you, you know me. Nice
Yeah.
to meet you, sir. I'm a
Yeah.
fan of yours, sir. Nice kid. Saw him at a couple of All-Star games. Nice to meet you. Nice
Right.
to meet you. Now, this is before I started coming on these shows, the old show, this show.
Okay.
Before that. Then for some reason,
Aha.
at the 2011 NBA Celebrity All-Star Game, which
And by the way, you've been an MVP of that
I'm
game.
a former MVP.
Yep.
I don't know if he was thrown out of pocket by that,
I
but I
don't
was
know.
there with my kids, and he gave
And
my
your kids at that point were
They don't
10,
care.
10 and 8.
10 and 8. They don't care about selfies. They ain't asking
And
for
they
your
have been
sneakers.
backstage with Kanye.
They ain't
been-
impressed with
they
anybody.
know every.
You
They've
give
been,
them a pound and a smile, you keep it moving.
Right.
He gave my kids the Heisman, turned his back on. But it wasn't just to my kids; it was to me.
So you went up just to get a quick pick.
Not
and-
even a pick. A what's up?
Okay,
a
just a
smile,
what's up.
A
and,
wink.
and he just Heisman.
He gave us to this, and it was
Okay.
blatant, it was personal, whatever. But this was after he had already been to the Miami Heat and all that stuff. So I had already had problems. But when he disrespected me in front of my kids and my kids, I was like, hell to the no, to the no.
Can't you put that aside?
Why should I? And aside the fact that's just a little icing on the cake.
Okay.
The fact of the matter is that I wrote 23 reasons. Since the books came out, he did the 24th reason and the 25th reason why he'll never be like Mike. First of all, what kind of NBA champion? Michael Jordan would never send a happy birthday tweet to a rookie.
Yep.
You sending a birthday tweet to Lonzo Ball like he's your friend. That's a rookie. You're supposed to have him getting you donuts, carrying basketballs, and detailing your car. I mean, what are we doing to the NBA here? Happy birthday. Do you even know Lonzo? No. Does he even know Lonzo? Why are you sending this man birthday tweets? If I was Lonzo, I'd have been like, who is you?
First of all, how do we know Michael wouldn't have done that? Because Michael responded to LeVar Ball, and Skip Bayless said when LeVar started talking and LeBron responded, Skip said Michael Jordan would never, ever respond to LeVar Ball. And lo and behold, at his camp in Vegas, what did he do? He responded because so we can't
the
say
kids asked him the question.
They did. They asked him the question.
But that don't mean he had to answer.
That's Michael Jordan who's wearing the stonewashed jeans and the oversized leather coats. Now, we're not talking about the attack killer Michael Jordan.
Right.
Okay, we're talking Michael Jordan would have done exactly what Patrick Beverly beautifully did to that rookie. Take his heart out and be like, now I'm your father. I'm your dad. In your whole career, when you see Patrick Beverly, I'm your father. I don't know why the rest of the league isn't following suit. Well, like when you see Lonzo Ball at the line, I'm like, I got this dude right here. This is me right here. All day. I wouldn't even make eye contact. I'm not giving you pounds. This is my man all night.
Okay, I got you. So, but
Yes.
Michael Rapaport, as big a critic as I have been of LeBron James, I do not get personal with LeBron. And I must say, I always defend LeBron off the court. And you have some nice things to say about
23rd reason.
all this social commentary and all the good things he's done charity-wise.
All of it.
And I have yet to hear, and all the things, and I know a lot of things that I've heard about LeBron James off the court. I've never heard this happen before, where he actually just disrespected a fan of his with two kids, a 10 and an 8-year-old kid, right in front of the world. He
That
just
happened.
turned his back.
It happened.
And it's shockingly out of character for LeBron James.
Hey, it happened.
Okay.
It's a fact. It happened. I mean, listen, if I was that famous, I have my bad days, my good days, but this is at the Celebrity All-Star Game. We all know the All-Star Game is for the kids.
It
You're
is.
at the Celebrity
No, I
All-Star
got
Game,
it.
my man. I'm a former MVP. Give my kids a wink and a smile and keep it
Okay,
moving.
and yet you wrote about some friend of a friend of a friend thing where there may have been some bad blood somewhere between.
And there might have been bad blood in a girl. Who knows? I don't know. It has nothing to do with
Okay.
me and my 8
Nope.
and 10-year-olds.
Okay.
I have no idea.
Okay, and have you heard lately, after the book has come out, that
Nothing.
maybe it was about opinions you have expressed on this or other shows?
No. It was before I even started expressing my opinions in the sports forum. You can't listen. This is what happened. But that's not even one of the reasons. The reasons why he'll never be like Mike. They're documented. There's so many and so far. I mean, it's just like they keep coming. It's like a slot machine. They keep coming week after week. So I mean, he's.
Can you defend your man?
No, I won't. I know it gets hard sometimes, and I've never been the star that LeBron is, and I never will be. But it does
But
get
you're a
hard.
big deal. You're in
Yeah,
the Hall
but-
of Fame, and
but-
you get approached.
Yes,
and
but I would-
sometimes you're not in the mood.
No, you're right.
It wasn't my kids, though. It was me in front of my kids.
And that's the thing. And the thing is that if I know you, I will
will.
always acknowledge you.
I will attest to
and
that.
sometimes kids come up to me and I don't know the kids. They say, but you know my father. And I'm like, well, who's your dad? And I said, well, hey, nice to meet you. Funny story, Skip. In 2001, Steve Bisciotti's brother was in Atlanta. I didn't know who I never met him. And his kids come up and started talking to me.
The owner of the
Ravens. But at the time, he was the minority owner.
Okay.
But I had no idea who he was. But these kids come up and was like, we like the Ravens, blah, blah, blah. And we started talking. And I was just carrying on the conversation. And the dad, Steve's brother, comes up to me and he starts talking to me. And he's like, I'm Steve Bisciotti's brother. I was like, oh, okay. You never know who people are. But Skip, I always try to be cordial to people. I'm not always in the best mood. I mean, but now, Skip, it's amazing. Since I've started doing this show, people that I wouldn't even think. I'm talking about moms, white moms that I know don't really even know anything about football. That you just take the time out. Kids, it doesn't matter. I get it would be. But my daughter, when she was about 10 or 11, we were out eating, and people just kept coming, and she just like, my dad is eating. He's not signing any more autographs. So they'll get to the point. But I don't agree with that. If he knew you from the jump, you got to ride with him. I'm gonna ride with you no matter what. Now, if I got a bone to pick with you, I'm gonna pull you to a side. I'm gonna, in front of your kids, I'm gonna say, bro, you and I need to holler at you.
Oh, I would
Also
be
the
beautiful.
setting,
We could talk all day.
Yeah.
It's
We
also
could-
the setting.
but you know,
The
I just-
All-Star game.
Celebrity
Like
All-Star
that's where
game.
everybody
Treat
is
the MVP
being-
with the
yeah.
respect he deserves, Joy. Treat the former MVP with the respect
And by the
he
way, if I
deserves.
may say this for Michael Rapaport, you know a lot of people. You've crossed a lot of paths.
Oh, yeah.
right?
I've crossed a lot of paths.
Yeah,
It's hard to impress me.
I mean, that night that you met, or LeBron met you, introduced himself to you, you had just had a debate back in the back room of the 4040 Club with one Jay-Z about the greatness of one Pearl Washington.
That's right.
I read your book.
That's right,
I know
Skip.
these stories. So, again, you went from Jay-Z to young LeBron. How are you, sir, to this. So it's just hard for me to reconcile all
Hey,
that.
that's what it is. But I mean, the chapter isn't just that. It's all the shenanigans. It's the unfollowing the Cleveland Cavaliers when you play for the Cleveland Cavaliers. Gwyneth Paltrow invented that. It's called uncoupling. You can't unfollow your team that you're playing for. You're sending out memes. You've never been in the dunk contest. And LeBron James, as great as he is as a player, and I will not debate or argue how great he is. He's one of the best ever. One of the best players ever with the worst sneakers consistently. I think he should name his sneaker Irony by LeBron James. From the greatest player of all time.
good.
Them sneakers are horrible.
South Beach.
What?
The South Beach is a boss.
Those sneakers with the 4 straps, this isn't a mental institution. What's with the straps?
The 15's a boss now. Tell me the 15's ain't bad.
I stopped looking at those things. I wore them once. I caught an ankle injury from wearing those. Just the
You a
way
hater.
Black and miles. Yo,
So, last thought. The current cartoon meme posted by LeBron after Kyrie's victory at Atlanta last
Grow up.
night meant what?
if you want to be like Mike, get your own meme. That's like an old used meme. At least create your own meme.
He got a bunch of them.
Nah, those memes are trash. There's a recycled memes. Joy knows the gram and social media. If you're gonna really do something, like get your own meme.
Yeah.
Not a old, like, you know, get something. You got a team. You're in the film business now. You're a big time producer. Get one of your people to produce you your own meme.
Did you see what he did? Did you see the meme that I tweeted when he dropped that 57, 11, and 7 on Washington?
Did you put a meme out?
Hold that 57-piece John Wall, bumping your gums, talking about we tried to dodge you.
I agree. I agree.
Hold
He did
that
his thing.
57 piece.
It ain't gonna work. The biggest problem with the Cavaliers right now is not LeBron. The injuries obviously are a problem. Tristan's down. Isaiah's not there. Maybe Ty Lue isn't that good of a basketball coach.
The assistant coach, Tyler?
Yeah,
The assistant coach.
You're a hater.
Maybe. Why is he a good coach? He look what he's doing under duress. The Boston Celtics. It looked like it was like sync time.
Yeah.
They came back. They figured out. They have basketball schemes. Maybe I'm just saying. Maybe Ty Lue is not that good of a basketball coach. Who
Is
knows?
he Red Auerbach or Pat Riley? No.
Huh? He's not Red Auerbach or Pat Riley. But why then? How are you going to win a championship?
He already won one.
Yeah, that was given to him. Thank David Blatt. Did David Blatt get a ring for that championship?
Yeah, we gave him a ring.
That's another reason. Remember when he got David Blatt fired?
He didn't get nobody
Yes.
In the
fired.
darkness of the
He
night,
did.
and then acted like he didn't know what happened.
He
like
didn't
an
know what
episode.
happened. He didn't know.
He had no
He and
idea.
I was talking
We gotta
about
leave
it.
that there.
No mercy.
Stop me if you've heard this before. LeVar Ball said something controversial. The Lakers are 5-5 in this season, and Lonzo is playing 33 minutes per game, but LeVar says Luke Walton should play Lonzo more. Let's take a listen.
Let him play the whole fourth quarter, and I bet you always win. Because he's getting a better flow. Because his mindset right now, the in and out,
Right.
sitting down 6 to 10
adjustment.
minutes, it's adjustment where he's not going to take no shots because you're like, I'm not in the flow.
Right.
So he don't want to hurt the team by shooting.
Shannon, is it inbounds or out of bounds for LeVar to say this?
I think it's out of bounds, Skip, and you know how I've been very, very abundantly clear on this topic. I do not believe family members and significant others should comment on a family member that plays a professional sport because people automatically leap to the conclusion, whether it's fair or unfair, that that's coming from said player.
Sure.
And so that's what people are thinking. Man, I need to play more, Dad. I need to play more. And he's not going to say it. LeVar will.
Yep.
But what LeVar needs to understand, Luke Walton's job is not to just coach Lonzo. He is to coach this basketball team. And right now, he's looking at, Skip, here's this. Lonzo Ball in the fourth quarter. He's averaging 1.5 points a game. He's 0 of 9 from 3, 21% shooting from the floor. He's minus 31 in the fourth quarter. Only 3 players are worse than that. So how does Luke Walton says, hold on, I'm looking at these numbers and I should play you more? I don't get it. And I thought he was going to hey, I'm going to let Luke Walton coach the team. Hey, my boy, I done my job. I got him there and all, la. Lo and behold, He just can't help himself, can he, Skip? And if you think about this, of 92 players that have taken at least 100 shots in the fourth quarter, guess who has the worst field goal percentage? Guess who has the best? O'Brien. I ain't gonna tell you who has the worst, but you know who has the worst. We're talking. He's in this topic, so obviously we're talking about him.
Wait, what's LeBron's record right now?
Whoa, Skip.
Well, help me out. What are they?
Skip.
Well, you just brought him up.
Skip.
Well, who has the better record, Lakers or Cavs? I'm just asking. I'm not sure. I didn't check.
Oh, like you just did me the first segment. As we sit here right here today, it's the Lakers.
It
right
is the
here,
Lakers.
Right here
Yeah.
at, what time is it? 7:29 a.m. Your watch is off. Skip, why comment? All you care about, see, Luke Walton cares about the team, not just coaching your son. All you care about is Lonzo. Luke Walton's trying to win a game. You don't need to hear, not that he's paying any attention.
Yep.
Because he's like, hey, Luke Walton, my job is not to coach. I'm just going to sit back and enjoy my son. And he's going to talk about, well, if you notice what he said, Skip, my son don't want to hurt the team by shooting because he's not, I ain't going to hurt the team. If your son is what you say he is, how could he hurt the team shooting the basketball, Skip? Oh, you know what we know. Skip, guess who lead the Lakers in minutes played? One little Lonzo Ball. Guess who's second in rookie minutes played? Behind Ben Simmons. One Lonzo Ball. So I don't really know what he's asking. Do you want him to play? Because if he played the whole do you want him to play 40 minutes a night? Come on, Skip. This was unnecessary. But this is par from the course, right out of the playbook of LeVar Ball, building his brand.
I agree with your conclusion, but not all your points. But your conclusion is this is out of bounds, and it's just flat out of bounds. And I'm starting to wonder, is LeVar going to comment to the Bleacher Report after every Lonzo game 82 times? Are we going to have to react 82 times?
Does he have a deal with Bleacher Report?
I have no idea. But I'm going to say again what I said a couple of weeks back. No rookie playing any sport ever has had a higher degree of difficulty than what LeVar Ball has created for Lonzo Ball with the Los Angeles Lakers, with Magic overseeing.
Right.
Because the expectations are through the Staples roof for Lonzo, in large part because of his father, but in part because of Magic Johnson.
Right.
The greatest point guard ever, you know, the driving force of the Showtime Lakers. And everybody says, okay, Lonzo, you're on.
Your turn.
Yeah, here you go. Please show us.
Yes.
And there's, you know how people go to Staples. You've been to Staples here recently, right? And you know, it's like this, right? You just say, you sit back with your arms folded and you say, okay, show us.
Right.
Right? And the crowd doesn't ignite the team has to ignite the crowd.
Correct.
Right? So this team is actually pretty good. And I thought they were going to be real good, but they're pretty good because they're 5-5. And I've watched every game all too closely when it comes to Lonzo, but they just flat out blew the New Orleans game at home. They should have won that one. They had Toronto on the ropes and let them off, in part because of Lonzo Ball. Then they went on to Utah, and they were right in the game with Utah, and after the game, Lonzo took all the blame. Remember, it was my fault. 2 or 3 straight plays happened that he was guilty of.
Correct.
And they blew that game, and they took Toronto right to the buzzer. I'm sorry, Portland right to the buzzer at Portland.
Yeah.
And Kyle Kuzma, who, by the way, is just playing his tail off, but he had a buzzer shot to tie it, and since overtime came up a little short. But Kyle Kuzma is averaging 15 and 6.
Right.
He is the better rookie on the team right now, especially when it comes to these numbers.
All things being equal, Skip, he might be the best player on the roster right now.
He looks really good.
Better. I mean, tell me he's not better than Brandon Ingram right now. If I give you a choice, say right now, Skip, you get Kuzma or you get Ingram, who you taking?
The last couple of games, Brandon Ingram has come alive, and I'm not sure about that's a close call for me going big picture, long term. I'm not sure. I need to see a little more of Kyle Kuzma, but he comes off the bench the opposite of Lonzo Ball. He comes off fearless firing.
Yes.
Just give me the ball and I'm going to shoot it, and if it goes in, good, and if it misses, I'll shoot it again, and it will go in.
Yep.
That's his attitude. So guess what Luke Walton has said basically to Lonzo Ball? Hey, if you don't feel like playing tonight, you're not going to play tonight.
Right.
I'm going to sit you for long stretches. And he does. He'll sit him mid-first quarter all the way into like 4 minutes left in the second quarter. And then, you're right, he'll hold him out of fourth quarter big minutes. He usually lets him finish the game, but it might only be the last 3 minutes of the game. So, look, do I think LeVar has some point? He always has some point because his kid is not shooting the ball very well, especially at home. His kid had one game, and you can say it's an aberration game against a bad team, but it was on the road at Phoenix when he went 29, 11 and 9. 29, 11 and 9. And you want to talk about closing a game? He made 3 baskets down the stretch that absolutely held off Eric Bledsoe, who just became, I'm told, a Milwaukee Buck. But he held off Eric Bledsoe and Devin Booker and those shooters who were all just firing at will. And all of a sudden, Lonzo just took the game over. A lot of left-handed scoops. He went right up into Tyson Chandler and scored up over him. And I said, wow, that's what I thought I would see. But I've only seen it one time, and they have now played 10 games. So to LeVar's point, is he out of the flow? Is he now starting to fear shooting? Like, oh, maybe I better not break the flow here. Like they're in rhythm. I don't want to get everybody out of rhythm. And we know this from the beginning. He is unselfish to a fault, as opposed to his father, who can be selfish to a fault.
Luke Walton said, "Earn the minutes."
Yeah,
you want more
you
minutes?
earn. No, that's what he's saying to him.
And
saying you haven't earned them, so he sits him. Okay, but you don't need Daddy to say this. He just turned 20 years of age. You know what? He's a man.
And that's the thing, though, Skip, because anything that comes out of a locker room, anything that's being discussed, how would the father, how would the significant other, the brother or sister know if it hadn't been discussed? So that's what, even if it hasn't been discussed, people assume that it is. And I just let him play. He's not going to play 40 minutes. He's playing the most minutes of anybody on the Lakers. The second most minutes behind Ben Simmons of all rookies. I don't really know what you're asking for, because at the end of the day, Luke Walton is trying to win ball games. And I'm going to defer to Luke Walton on what he thinks is the best for his team, not LeVar Ball, what he thinks is best for his son, Lonzo. So I'm going to leave that to Luke Walton. Now, he also said he was going to leave it to Luke Walton. He wasn't trying to coach no Lakers. He wasn't trying to do anything. He's just going to sit back and be quiet. That's what he said. If it's a lie, he told it. But we're starting to see right now, Skip, that's going to be virtually impossible. I mean, can you have 13, 14 years of this? Things go well, you comment, things go good. I told you, my boy, is that what we're going to have to deal with for the next 13, 14 years, Skip?
Look, I still respect the job that LeVar did raising this kid, because he's a really first-class kid. He has high character. And to say somebody's unselfish to a fault who's a point guard in the NBA, that's rare.
Right.
And I still think his rub-off factor on this team has been very positive. And this is, I've heard different coaches say over the last week or so, this is the fastest team in the NBA. And it starts with Lonzo, because once he gets in gear running up the floor, those long legs, once he gets extended, he just flies down the court in like 3 long strides. All of a sudden, he's on top of people, and he's making things happen. They can all run, and they're fun to watch when they run. And I think this team is only going to get better and better. But speaking of hard knocks, this kid's he's going through his season of hard knocks.
And you see his numbers. Under 10 points a game now. The assist total, because at one point he was 13, 9, and 9, and woo, he about to average a triple-double. Now he's under 9 points. He's around 6 points, around 5.5 rebounds. It's a long season.
It's a long season. I'll bet you those numbers are going to go up.
Yeah, I always thought, I said about his rookie year, he'd reach somewhere around 10 to 12 points a game, somewhere around 6 to 7 assists. That's where he'll be.
Well, we all knew that coming into the league, we were going to be overcritical of everything that Lonzo did because of everything that LeVar did. But I think we were kind of hoping he was going to leave the coaching decisions out of it, because we didn't see that at UCLA.
He did with Steve Alford at UCLA.
Yeah.
He never spoke out at all about UCLA.
Well, he did. He's homeschooling his son now, because the new coach said Melo could not shoot the ball 50 times a game.
Well, if it gets out of control, Magic will take care of it. I have faith in that.
No mercy.
Carson Wentz leads the NFL with 23 touchdown passes. His team has the best record in the NFL at 8-1, and now Westgate Superbook has given the Eagles the second best odds to win the Super Bowl, just behind the Patriots. The Eagles have a 2.5 game lead in the NFC East over the Cowboys, but Dallas has won 3 straight. We're joined by former NFL head coach Eric Mangini and Rob Parker.
Wow,
What's
Rob.
happening?
Hi, Rob.
What's
Hold
going on?
You hitched the ride with him this morning.
I did. I was walking to work and Rob showed up and
Uber.
pretty amazing.
Yeah, Skip, I do Uber once in a while to make some extra money on the way in.
He charged me like $5 to go about 100 feet.
So what was the rating? Did you give him a 5-star?
No.
1 star.
1 star.
Can't do
And
that.
I
Don't
was
mess it
generous.
up. Welcome, guys. Good to have you back. Eric, I'll start with you. Which team will prove to be better this season, the Eagles or the Cowboys?
It's going to be the Cowboys. And
Woohoo.
to me, the Cowboys, since they've come out of the bye, have improved dramatically, especially defensively. The team that lost after scoring 30 points at home 2 games in a row, they look different than they did at that point. The other part of this is going into the season, Dallas had tremendous expectations. So there are expectations on the team, there are expectations on Dak. They've had all the issues they've had with Zeke, and I've said this before, you have to learn how to deal with success just like you have to learn how to deal with adversity, and they didn't deal with that very well. Now, the Eagles are in that position, and I'm not 100% confident that they're going to be able to deal with being in that lead position over the course of the
Based
remainder of
on
the
what
season.
you've seen, I mean, what is it that makes you say that they can't do it?
Well, remember last year they started out really fast.
But not 9 games in.
Carson Wentz started out extremely fast,
did.
and then as things caught up to him, it changed dramatically, and they finished 7-9. The other issue is Carson Wentz is getting hit at a pretty staggering rate. I mean, his sack percentage is close to 7%. He's either pressured or hit somewhere around 30% of the time. It's not getting better. It's getting worse since they lost the starting left tackle. And it's one of those things, as defensive coordinators continue to see what works, and pressure has been working, he's going to get more and more of that. And I don't know if he's going to be able to sustain what he's done so far.
So, Rob, you being a big Kansas City Chiefs fan, what did you see Sunday at Jerry World?
Look at his tie.
No, you mean the Kansas City chefs? They're chefs now.
Okay.
No, I was impressed by that win by Dallas, but I like what the Eagles have done and where Wentz is. I remember his start, too, and I thought it was the first 3 or 4 games. It wasn't 9 games in, and all your points are well taken. But you know this.
Oh,
They're well
gave you
taken.
that.
They're well taken.
What happened?
But nothing. But you know this league.
Something's wrong.
This league is about quarterbacks. It just is. And when you have a guy who's doing something special and having a special season, we saw last
talking
night.
about Dak Prescott?
No, I'm talking about Carson Wentz. But we saw last night. Look at the Packers without Aaron Rodgers. They not only can they not compete, can they not win, they can't even compete at games at home. That's how much of a difference that guy makes. And Carson Wentz in his second year is much better. Yes, the first 4 or 5 games last year, he came out of the gate great, and then the team wasn't that good. I like what they're
went to
doing.
Detroit. Remember
Right, that
that?
was the game.
Wow.
That's the game I remember. And they lost there. I think they were 3-0 or whatever
Carson
they were.
Wentz through the interception.
Matthews
A bad pick.
Slay.
Absolutely. There you go, Skip. You remember.
But Matthews fumbled twice. The running back fumbled the ball twice.
Absolutely. But it was just a bad pick,
Yeah.
and you're right, it was a fumble. But I'm saying here, I like what they're doing. I like where they are. They have a nice lead, 9 games in. The Cowboys, they lost a couple of games at home. Maybe they're vulnerable. Maybe there's another loss at home at some point down the road. So I like the Eagles more than I like the Cowboys. But I was impressed by the Cowboys win over Kansas City.
He gave me that.
I gave you
He
that.
you a couple of points.
And his whole point about we're comparing Dallas to Philly, and they both have really good quarterbacks.
I like what Carson Wentz is doing this year.
One quarterback has done it really well for 2 years. And I was hard on Dak all last season, and I've been impressed with the progress that he's made, and he's done it over the course of 2 seasons.
Who's had better progress this year? Forget about last year's rookie year. I'm asking you this year.
Okay, but if you want to set expectations low and base it off low expectations, then you're going to say, yeah, that
Answer
other
my
guy
question. This year.
I'm saying compared to the high expectations Dak set, I think that he's continued to grow. Where Carson had high expectations early, it didn't end up that way, so he started at a much lower baseline.
So you're a lawyer now, is that what this is?
No, I'm a realist. I'm just telling you that how you look at it depends on where they started.
Go ahead, Skip.
Are you telling me that Carson Wentz has had a better year than Dak Prescott?
Absolutely.
He has not.
Yes, he has.
Look at QBR.
I look at wins. I look at wins. That's what I look at.
I give you wins. That's all you got.
He's a
wins.
servant. Rob, you working about restaurants.
Right.
I serve wins, losses, and water.
What
would
that's
you be
it.
having today, sir?
Exactly. I always say sports has a short menu, wins and losses. All the other stuff doesn't matter.
You know, your restaurant's going to go out of business quickly. You know that, don't you? So, Rob, in QBR, Dak Prescott is at 81, which is just a tick less than Deshaun Watson. God bless him. Hope he recovers quickly. But he's way ahead of the third place in QBR, which belongs to Carson Wentz, way down at 73. So Dak is clearly having a better year this year than Carson Wentz. And my favorite stat is both of them have now played 25 games in the NFL. Obviously, Carson Wentz won more this year, regular season, but Dak did play the one playoff game. So it's 25-25. Over the course of 25 games, Dak Prescott has scored 11 more touchdowns than Carson Wentz. That's both throwing and running. And he has 11 fewer turnovers than Carson Wentz. That includes interceptions and lost fumbles. So 11 more touchdowns he has generated with 11 fewer
But
mistakes.
also, you got to admit, Skip, in his rookie year, they weren't asking him to do that, and they put a control on him throwing the football.
They weren't asking him to protect the football?
No. They were trying to limit his mistakes, and he wasn't throwing the ball as much as I would say Carson Wentz was. Would you agree with that? You had a running back who was. Ezekiel Elliott had an unbelievable.
Because
Come on, you know
There
that.
are very few rookie quarterbacks that's been asked to throw the ball 600 times. That's what they asked Carson Wentz.
Thank you.
Let's go on this. Would you say that Carson Wentz, who has the better supporting cast? Offensive line, skill position. Dak Prescott or Philly, Carson Wentz?
I like Dallas' supporting guy.
Oh, exactly.
Right.
So you would expect him to
I
be
like
like
Philly's receiving core better than Dallas's.
Well,
I
but
just do. I do.
But that being said, I like their supporting cast better, which is why I think they're going to probably win the division. I mean, that's the whole reason I feel strongly about it.
I believe
I think the quarterback is as mature. You look at the game last week, and look, Wentz threw for 4 touchdowns.
Yeah.
But when you see the 4 touchdowns, there's off-play action. He hits Aguilar. No, it was
Alshon.
It was
Yeah.
Alshon.
So now you're going to
Alshon
sit
on
here
the
and
first one.
nitpick over
Then
touchdowns?
Burton was a slant and go, and then he had a screen pass, which counted as a touchdown pass.
So what
and then there was a little short bootleg. Look, I'm not taking anything away.
Yes, you are. Yes, you
But
are.
I'm just putting in perspective. When you look at what the type of throws that Dak was making in the game, he's hitting comebacks. He's hitting deep in cuts. He's hitting the range of throws that you look for from a quarterback, and it just looks different at this point.
If you don't mind me asking,
We
Dak
got
Prescott.
Johnny Cochran over here.
Dak Prescott dumped the ball off in San Francisco, and Zeke caught it behind the line of scrimmage and raced 75 yards. What would they call that?
I understand it, but I would be making the same point if we were talking about that as some elite touchdown pass. It's not. I'm saying not all touchdown passes are created
let me
equal.
ask you-
Not all statistics are created equal. You got to put a context around
Okay,
it.
how about this? What about that sprint option that he hit Cole Beasley in the corner of the end zone for 4 yards? Was that great design? Sunday.
Was it great design? No, it was.
Okay, one more thing. Before you answer that, on the first touchdown, there was a play action, zone read. He hit Cole Beasley on the slant. Was that great play design?
Yeah, actually, that was a really good throw.
Okay, see?
Mm-hmm.
10
It
yards.
was a really
Touchdown.
sweet
At the end of the day, Rob, guess
not
what?
that
It
easy.
was a
It's
It's
really,
6 points.
it was a really good throw in a tight window.
was.
But looking at the range of throws those two guys are asked to make on a consistent basis, I think Dak has grown over the course of this season and last season, which is why I like him.
Eric, the guy had the leading rusher in the league. How hard is it to throw play action when you got 8 guys in the box?
Absolutely.
And Shannon, you know that I was not on the Dak Prescott bandwagon all last season. I'm a late adapter, and I want to see that there's going to be consistency, and I've seen that growth from him, which is why now I feel that he gives his team a better chance to win.
You know what?
You don't handle hen well.
What?
That hen dog, you don't handle that well.
That's what he got in there.
The hen
Hey, I just
No hen dog here.
reevaluated your tenure in Cleveland, and you know what? You did a good job coaching me.
Harry
According to
Potter is going to give
according to
me
your
a hard time. He's got the same tie on that he wore for Halloween, and he's going to clown me. Come on, Harry Parker. Coming to you live
My thing
from
is
Dumbledore.
that I agree, and I get your premise, but I agree with Rob. They asked Carson Wentz to do more from the beginning than they ever asked Dak. Dak has Ezekiel Elliott. It's a wonderful option to have, and you've been on teams when you can just turn around and you can hand the ball to a guy 30 times, and he gets you 150 and runs the air out of the ball. That's a great luxury to have. Now, Carson Wentz really never had that last year. Now, he has a better running game this year with Ajayi and Blunt.
You were raving about it earlier in this show. You said, LeGarrette, Blunt, and Ajayi.
No, he says it's better.
Hammer the ball. Right?
He says it's better this year.
Okay. Well, you were raving about it before. Is it better than Dallas's?
No.
Okay.
No, I'm saying that they asked him early on from the beginning of their careers. Dak's job was, look, we're going to run the ball with Zeke because even in 2014, when Tony Romo had his most success, they had Offensive Player of the Year in DeMarco Murray, who ran for 1,848 yards. That was the game plan they were going to use. They've done a great job with Dak in saying, Dak, we don't want you to force the ball. Tony Romo forced the ball and put them in harm's way. Dak will not force the ball. So I will give you that because when you play action, it's easy to throw out cuts when you got that guy at the line of scrimmage. But when they get exotic, when you got guys that can come get him, how was he doing in the second half against the Rams? How was he doing in the second half against Green Bay?
Didn't have the ball. It was 19-11 in time of possession in the second half.
They don't get the ball? So for 11
They got
minutes.
it for 11 minutes.
So what'd you do with it?
Well, they couldn't run the
But when
ball
you
because
look
they
at
were
it,
behind big.
To me, that's the difference is the team that lost to Green Bay and the team that lost to the Rams at home. They did score over 30 points in both those games and lost. The defense has improved. The team has improved. And to me, the expectations have changed. Philly's got to play out in front. They haven't had to be in this position. Yeah. They're the hunted now, and each week it gets a little bit tighter in that locker room. It gets a little bit, there's more noise, there's more things that they have to deal with, and how well they can control their reaction to that, to me, is going to be the difference. And Dallas had to deal with that last season. Now they don't, and I think it's a better spot to be
I want to see how they play. I mean, you're raving about them beating Kansas City. Kansas City is the 30th ranked defense. Now, I will give you this. And I told Skip yesterday, I was very impressed with the Cowboys offense because they neutralized a top 5 offense. Dynamic play. Dallas defense neutralized the dynamic offense in Kansas City.
Top is number 3 in the
right.
NFL.
You got Kelsey, you got Tyreek Hill, you got the leading
that
rusher
was
coming
impressive.
into the. So that was impressive. But to say, Dak Prescott had a marvelous day against the 30th ranked defense, how did he do in the second half against the Rams with their defense?
How did he do in the first half? What was his QBR for the Rams? Hold on just a second. His QBR in the Rams game was 70, which is pretty good. And then against Aaron Rodgers, it was 97, and they lost the game in the second half.
Hold on,
97?
How do you lose with a 97 QBR?
Because he hits.
Because it's a team game, and
it's
there's
a team game.
and
because
now it's a team game.
It's been a team game
Wait a
for me
second,
the whole
he hit
time.
Terrence Williams right in the hands with a little pop pass, and it goes right through his hands.
He has no touch.
No touch. So here's the bottom line to this discussion. I will give you and you this. The Eagles won the midseason Super Bowl. They're the midseason Super Bowl champs. Carson Wentz is the midseason NFL MVP. I give you that. And Doug Peterson is the midseason Coach of the Year, and now the season starts. And they had better hope that the Second Circuit Court of Appeals says no to
You
Ezekiel
better hope.
Elliott.
I know. You better hope. The Cowboys need it more.
You better hope.
The Eagles don't have to worry about that.
The Eagles don't have anybody tied up in litigation. The Eagles don't have anything to worry about. As long as they don't suffer any more substantial injuries,
Well, I will
they'll
not
be just
write
fine.
off the Cowboys if they lose Zeke for 6 games because they're not bad.
There is a lot of hoping that has to go on in Philadelphia. When you're getting your quarterback hit 30% of the time or pressured 30% of the time that he drops back, the odds of him suffering some sort of injury.
Well, injury totally changes everything.
Well, we can go two tight ends. We can shore up that. How can you guarantee Ezekiel Elliott will be on the field for the rest of the season?
Well, you can't guarantee you can't guarantee that, but what you can guarantee is that they're going to have an effective passing game. The offensive line is going to be the same barring injury, and I think they can still be very effective running the ball. As effective, no, but still very effective.
Good job today, guys. You giving Eric a ride home, Rob?
No, you get no ride home. Walk.
No, he's got to head to
I'm gonna
Universal
bump
for
this
his
with
second
nobody.
job.
You and he been
I'm
y'all
just
together.
bumping
fist with the air.
Cowboys.
We got brotherhood right here.
Yeah, we
They're
are.
my
Rob and
brother
Eric,
right
thanks for
there.
joining
You're
us.
heading to Harry Potter world.
Yeah, Hogwarts.
No mercy.
The Giants were blown out by the Rams on Sunday, and Ben McAdoo said everyone's job is on the line, including Eli Manning.
Including his?
Yes, including his. Michael Rapaport is with us. Michael, how would you fix the Giants?
Again, including his.
Yeah.
He's talking about everybody's job. His job, his barber's job, are on the line. Listen, I don't care if you're Eli Manning, Peyton Manning, Archie Manning, or even NBA great Danny Manning.
yeah.
You need to be able to be protected as a quarterback. We know Eli's not going to run. We started the season with great hopes and expectations. I watched that Sunday night game, the Sunday Night Hammer versus the Cowboys, and I knew we were in trouble. We can't. First of all, the quarterback, who's our guy, I don't care if he's not Eli of old or whatever, he's never been consistent. He's always been a wild card. But you got to protect the quarterback. And I knew that first game versus Dallas, we were in trouble.
Whose fault is that? Jerry Reese? He didn't shore it up.
Yeah, he didn't. But at the end of the day, it's McAdoo's.
Okay.
Okay, he's the head coach. If you're going to start pointing fingers and everybody's job is on the line, it's your fault. And then Paul Perkins and Orleans Darkwa, again, we brought in B. Marshall. We have the best football player in the league, Odell. We have a young Sterling Sharpe. We have tight end Ingram. We have guys that
Sterling
can Shepard. What did I say?
Wish you had
Sterling
started.
Sharpe.
Sorry. Yes.
play.
Man, that was a.
Eli be on
So
the
much
subject.
better than you. So much better than you.
No.
But like, I mean, he was so much better than you.
You think?
Oh man,
He was.
Okay, but let's
You
stay
got me.
focused. But where we are now is the fact that we have guys suspended. Our best defensive player suspended. There's something not right. I mean, people want to win, and I get the frustration, but there's something not right in the Giants thing. And McAdoo as a coach, like, yo, you got to have some sort of like vocal communication, even the way you speak to the media. Like if you speak to the media the same way you're speaking to the players, there's a disconnect. So at the end of the day, Eli's not going anywhere. What are we going to do? Cart out Geno Smith? Eli's not worried about Geno Smith taking his job. The Giants are in trouble, but I think McAdoo is his job isn't sealed at all.
I'm getting rid of everybody. Jerry Reese has run his course. 2 years of Ben McAdoo. I already know. He was the wrong guy for the job.
He was, I
job
agree.
to begin with.
Yep.
Because they're looking at, Eli played so well. You just and we talked about this earlier, Michael. You can't just look at a guy and say, well, he works well with the quarterback or he works well with the offense. Well, can he coach a team? And Skip, you mentioned earlier this was a cornerstone franchise. Right now they're a tombstone franchise.
That's well said.
Nobody wants to see this team.
Nobody
play.
wants to see
And
this.
here's the thing. This is what you got to ask yourself about Eli Manning. Because Eli Manning, if you look at his Super Bowl, those playoffs, he's 15 touchdowns, 2 interceptions. All-time great, historically, transcendent great. But even the year he went to the first Super Bowl, Skip, he was 23 touchdowns, 20 interceptions.
That's him.
So Eli's not going to get any better than what he's already been because he has a 2-year window, which he's all-time great. But those other years, Skip, he's been an average quarterback. Even the second year that he went to the Super Bowl, he was 29-16. I mean, 29 touchdowns, that's good. But so 16 interceptions mean you're averaging a turnover a game. That's not good. And so do you believe Eli has another Super Bowl run in him?
No.
If you don't believe that, so what are we doing here?
You got to go in a new direction. I'm sorry to break this news to you, but Eli Manning is hitting the wall far before the quarterback he beat twice in Super Bowls is hitting the wall at age 40.
Absolutely.
He's hitting the wall.
Of course, we can't compare the two as far as consistent quarterbacks, but you got to protect. Tom Brady wouldn't be able to work in that backfield with that offensive line of the Giants.
Sometimes
nobody
I wonder.
would. Nobody would.
Brady hadn't been very protected this year either, but he figures it out.
We're talking about Apple. I mean, you can't compare the two except for in the Super Bowl.
Except in the Super Bowl.
That was twice that happened. 2 times.
And in your book, you relish that.
Oh,
That's like the greatest thing you got in your whole life. Your
Why
sports
not?
life.
I mean, no, because it's great. They won a lot of Super Bowls, but they lost 2.
I know, to that same guy.
That same guy.
Impossible.
And his face
no,
never
seriously.
moved.
That's the most impossible thing that's ever happened in the history of sports.
Yes.
In the history
Not
of
once.
sports. Eli Manning beat Tom Brady in 2 Super Bowls.
Gorgeous.
2 Super Bowls.
Joe Namath would have had to beat the Colts and
Yeah,
Johnny Unitas.
in 2 Super Bowls.
It was beautiful. Remember when Giselle freaked out about the whole thing and made
Do
the whole
I?
thing about her?
Yeah.
That was great. Yeah. They're a great team. They're fantastic. Shout out to Julian Edelman. I want him back. They're a great team, but they just weren't that great those 2 games.
Yeah.
But that doesn't take away from their greatness.
But I thought Hugh Jackson was going to take your job, and so did everybody involved in this. And all of a sudden, at the last second, he said, I'm going to Cleveland because I like the management structure of Sashi Brown and Paul DePatel. You do? You like the Browns? Where did that get you? Yeah. So he could have been your coach. He's a really good football coach, and he would have worked and clicked with the Giants. Instead, you elevate Ben Muchado, and he's what Bill Parcells used to call a JAG, just another guy. Ooh. That's who he is.
But we could use a Bill Parcells. Well, but the thing more surprising than, and listen, the injuries stunk. Brandon Marshall should not retire. Brandon Marshall should come back.
He did retire. He just didn't tell you.
No, he didn't. No, he didn't.
You ain't watch? Did you watch?
What?
All those drop passes?
We dropped 2 passes. He made the great catch.
Per game.
Listen, Brandon Marshall should not retire. Brandon Marshall should not retire, and he should come back next year. That's not his fault.
He sounds like he's a friend of yours.
I like Brandon Marshall. I've always liked Brandon Marshall, and that wasn't fair this year. That stunk.
Okay.
He's a friend of mine, but I do like Brandon Marshall. But before he was a friend of mine, I was a fan of his. But the thing that was the most disappointing, the defense. At least if the offense falls apart, we could get some grit and some personality and some character off the defense. Right now, we're 30th.
They quit.
Well, the good news
Defensive guy gets
is
suspended.
you guys play San Francisco on Sunday.
They're going to beat y'all.
That'll be an exciting
They
game.
ain't gonna beat the New York
They
Giants.
get that elusive first win, those 49ers.
That ain't happening versus the Giants.
No mercy.
Thanks for listening to the Undisputed Podcast. I'm Joy Taylor. We're back at the same time tomorrow morning, 9:30 Eastern. We'll see you then.
Fox Sports. One of one.